Sagittarius. The 5 things they will never forgive you for. Number 5 will leave you frozen. Sagittarius, your heart is fierce, your spirit untamed, and your truth undeniable. There are moments in life when your authenticity challenges those around you, and even the people you once held closest may find it impossible to forgive certain actions, choices, or revelations. This is not about guilt or blame. It is about understanding the dynamics that shape your relationships, the boundaries of what others can accept, and the lessons that free you to move forward with clarity and self-respect. In this exploration, we uncover the 5 things that people in your life, lovers, friends, or even family, might never forgive you for. Some of these truths will surprise you, others will resonate deeply, and number 5, in particular, carries a weight so profound it can leave even the most composed hearts frozen. These insights are not meant to make you fearful or hesitant, but to illuminate the boundaries between your growth and others' capacity to hold space for it. Through understanding Sagittarius, you gain clarity, empowerment, and a renewed sense of alignment with your authentic path. You learn that forgiveness is a reflection of the forgiver, not a measure of your worth. By recognizing these 5 truths, you not only honor your journey, but also step into a life where relationships are built on respect, understanding, and acceptance of who you truly are. Like, share, and subscribe to Zodiac Wisdom as we journey through these revelations, embracing the courage, freedom, and self-respect that define the Sagittarius spirit. Thing number 1. Betraying your own truth. For a Sagittarius, the first and most unforgivable act in the eyes of those who once cherished you is when you betray your own truth. Sagittarius is ruled by the desire for authenticity, freedom, and alignment with one's higher purpose. When someone sees you compromise your values, hide your feelings, or pretend to be someone you are not, whether to please, appease, or avoid conflict, they are confronted with a reality that feels irreconcilable. They can forgive mistakes, misunderstandings, and missteps, but they cannot forgive the denial of your own essence. Take Maya, a Sagittarius woman who spent months in a relationship where she concealed her true ambitions to maintain harmony. She allowed fear and doubt to shape her decisions, putting aside her dreams to fit her partner's expectations. While outwardly the relationship appeared stable, internally she felt disconnected, restrained, and unseen. When her partner finally realized that Maya had withheld her truth, it created a fracture too deep to mend. Her authenticity had been compromised, and the revelation of what she had hidden was a shock that her partner could not reconcile. They were not angry about her actions, they were unsettled by the loss of the person they thought they knew, a truth that could not be changed or forgotten. For Sagittarius, betraying your own truth can occur in various forms: suppressing your opinions, ignoring your intuition, or sacrificing your core values for comfort or acceptance. While these compromises may feel necessary in the moment, they create ripple effects in your relationships. Others sense when you are not fully aligned with yourself, even if they cannot articulate it. This misalignment disrupts trust, evokes confusion, and eventually leads to a sense of alienation. Astrologically, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the planet of expansion, wisdom, and honesty. Jupiter amplifies your need for growth and integrity, guiding you to act in alignment with your higher purpose. When you fail to honor this, it creates tension not only within yourself but also in your connections. Others who value your light, authenticity, and vision perceive the misalignment as a betrayal, not against them but against the very energy they were drawn to. They cannot forgive what they see as a deviation from the radiant essence that defines you. Consider Alex, a Sagittarius man who compromised his ethical standards at work to appease colleagues. While it seemed minor at the time, the revelation of his actions caused disappointment among those who admired his honesty and integrity. His friends were not upset because of the consequences, they were unsettled because the core of Alex, the integrity and courage that attracted respect, had been shadowed. Sagittarius, this illustrates a crucial point. When you betray your truth, the ripple effect reaches beyond yourself, touching the hearts of those who resonate with your authenticity. The lesson for Sagittarius is profound. Honoring your truth is non-negotiable. It is the foundation of self-respect, personal growth, and meaningful connections. Compromising it may provide temporary ease, but it undermines your long-term alignment with your soul's purpose. Those who truly value and understand you can forgive mistakes, but they cannot forgive the suppression of your essential self. When your actions betray your own truth, the loss is irreparable. Not because of resentment, but because the authenticity that once illuminated your relationships is obscured. This truth also serves as a mirror. Sagittarius, it is an invitation to examine the areas where you may be denying your own voice, suppressing your intuition, or ignoring your passions. The universe calls you to realign, to reclaim your integrity, and to step boldly into the life you are meant to lead. Doing so not only restores your inner harmony, but also prevents the unintentional creation of unforgivable situations with those who care about you. Ultimately, betraying your own truth is the first of the 5 things that others will never forgive you for. It is a stark reminder that authenticity is not optional for Sagittarius. It is your essence. By honoring your inner compass, speaking your truth, and acting in alignment with your values, you cultivate relationships rooted in trust, respect, and understanding. Those who resonate with your authentic self will stand by you. Those who cannot accept it simply reveal the boundaries of their own awareness. For Sagittarius, embracing this truth is not just about preventing resentment. It is about stepping fully into your power, light, and purpose. Thing number 2, breaking their trust. For Sagittarius, trust is a delicate but essential foundation in every meaningful connection. While your adventurous and free-spirited nature attracts excitement, it can also create tension when others feel that their emotional investment has been compromised. The second thing people often cannot forgive you for is breaking their trust, whether through dishonesty, secrecy, or betrayal. Sagittarius thrives on honesty and openness, but the dynamic of human relationships means that even minor lapses, perceived or real, can create lasting fractures that are difficult to mend. Consider Julian, a Sagittarius man whose casual comments and spontaneous actions were misinterpreted as a lack of transparency by a close partner. In his mind, there was no malice, no intent to deceive. He simply acted on intuition and freedom, following the natural flow of events. Yet the other person perceived it as a breach, a subtle betrayal that undermined the emotional security of their bond. Trust, once broken, is one of the hardest things for them to restore, not because they are unforgiving by nature, but because Sagittarius energy can be so expansive, spontaneous, and unpredictable that it challenges the expectations of those who seek stability and predictability. Breaking trust is particularly significant for Sagittarius because it often occurs unintentionally. Your innate desire for freedom, honesty, and exploration can sometimes collide with another person's need for reassurance and emotional consistency. In this context, a promise left unfulfilled, a hidden truth, or even a lapse in communication can feel monumental to the other person. While you may have acted with integrity in your own mind, their experience of the event may be interpreted as a betrayal, a violation of the implicit understanding that they had invested in. This emotional dissonance is particularly intense when Sagittarius moves swiftly through life, leaving others to reconcile the gap between perception and intention. Astrologically, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, a planet of expansion, wisdom, and truth. Jupiter encourages exploration, learning, and authenticity, yet it can amplify the consequences of perceived transgressions in relationships. When you unintentionally break someone's trust, it creates a tension that resonates deeply because Jupiter's influence magnifies both your actions and their impact. People around you, particularly those who care deeply, can experience this as a shock to their emotional equilibrium. Their inability to forgive is not necessarily a reflection of your character, but a reflection of the significance of trust in human connection and the depth of their attachment to your integrity. Consider also Sophia, a Sagittarius woman who, during a close friendship, unintentionally shared information she thought was inconsequential. Her friend perceived this as a violation of confidence, a breach that left emotional scars. Despite Sophia's sincere apologies, the bond was altered permanently. Sagittarius, this illustrates a universal truth. Trust, once broken, often leaves a shadow that cannot easily be erased. The lessons are clear. You must remain mindful of how your words and actions, however well-intentioned, impact the perceptions and emotional security of those who invest in your authenticity. The breaking of trust is a multifaceted issue. It can manifest through deliberate deceit, passive avoidance, or even unintentional oversight. For Sagittarius, the challenge lies in balancing the freedom of personal expression with the responsibility that comes with the influence your energy has on others. Each interaction, promise, or disclosure carries weight. Your ability to navigate these interactions with awareness and intentionality can prevent situations where trust is compromised. Yet, when breaches do occur, they often become one of the 5 things that others cannot forgive, because trust forms the backbone of emotional connection, and its disruption is experienced as a rupture in safety and stability. Sagittarius must also recognize that forgiveness is influenced by perception. While you may see a minor mistake as inconsequential, others may view it as a breach of fundamental principles. This discrepancy highlights the importance of empathy and communication. By understanding the perspectives of those around you and taking responsibility for how your actions are perceived, you can cultivate relationships that are resilient, authentic, and mutually respectful. However, when trust is broken, the pain is deep, and some people may never fully restore the sense of security they had once felt. Breaking trust also challenges the Sagittarius understanding of self. You value freedom, honesty, and exploration, yet you are called to integrate the awareness that your choices ripple outward, affecting the lives and emotions of those who care for you. This is not a limitation but a reminder of the interconnectedness of human relationships. Sagittarius, when you honor the responsibility that comes with your influence, you not only protect the bonds that matter, but also strengthen your own capacity for integrity, empathy, and conscious action. One key example is Liam, a Sagittarius man whose impulsive decision in a romantic relationship led to a misunderstanding that shook the foundation of trust. He acted out of spontaneity, following an instinct that felt authentic to him, but his partner perceived it as deception. The outcome was lasting tension, illustrating that Sagittarius energy, while adventurous, free, and authentic, must navigate the balance between personal expression and relational responsibility. This dynamic highlights why breaking trust is often one of the most unforgivable acts in the eyes of those who value their emotional investment in you. Ultimately, thing number 2, breaking trust, is a reminder for Sagittarius to cultivate awareness and intentionality. Trust is sacred, fragile, and foundational. The inability of others to forgive breaches of trust underscores the weight of this principle. By honoring commitments, communicating transparently, and acting with integrity, you can align your freedom and authenticity with the emotional needs of those you care about. While mistakes may happen, embracing responsibility and learning from these experiences transforms potential heartbreak into wisdom, helping you grow into a more empowered, conscious, and emotionally attuned Sagittarius. Breaking trust is a universal lesson. It teaches the importance of accountability, awareness, and the sacredness of relational integrity. For Sagittarius, this is not a limitation on your freedom, but an opportunity to refine how your adventurous, authentic energy interacts with the hearts of those who care about you. By embracing this truth fully, you ensure that your connections are built on respect, alignment, and the deep recognition of the sacred space of trust. Thing number 3, disrespecting their boundaries and ignoring their efforts. For Sagittarius, relationships thrive on mutual respect, freedom, and recognition. The third and fourth things people find nearly impossible to forgive involve the subtle but profound ways in which trust and care are eroded. Disrespecting personal boundaries and ignoring the efforts of those who invest in you. These transgressions are often overlooked in day-to-day life, yet they carry emotional weight that lingers long after the incident. Thing number 3, disrespecting boundaries, strikes deeply because Sagittarius is often naturally expansive, adventurous, and generous. Your energy attracts people into your orbit who are inspired by your boldness, optimism, and authenticity. However, when those same people feel their limits have been disregarded, whether through intrusion, pressure, or overstepping, they experience a violation of trust and emotional space. Consider Chloe, a Sagittarius woman who valued both her freedom and that of her partner. She noticed that her partner often ignored her requests for personal time or overstepped unspoken agreements about emotional space. While Chloe's intentions were never to harm, her partner interpreted her actions as disregard for boundaries. This breach became a point of irreconcilable tension, illustrating that even subtle violations can have a lasting impact when someone feels their autonomy has been disrespected. Astrologically, Sagittarius ruling planet, Jupiter, magnifies the consequences of boundary violations. Jupiter encourages expansion, honesty, and growth, which means that Sagittarius naturally expects clarity and respect in interactions. When boundaries are crossed, the cosmic balance feels disrupted, creating a sense of betrayal. Those affected may forgive minor missteps, but consistent disregard for limits or autonomy is something that resonates as a deep wound, particularly for those who once held the Sagittarius heart in high regard. Thing number 4, ignoring efforts, carries a similarly heavy weight. Sagittarius thrives when relationships are reciprocal and when efforts, emotional, practical, or supportive, are recognized and appreciated. Ignoring these contributions signals a lack of acknowledgement and respect, which can feel profoundly hurtful. Take Ethan, a Sagittarius man, who devoted significant energy to supporting his partner's dreams while managing his own responsibilities. Over time, he noticed a persistent pattern. His sacrifices and encouragement went unrecognized, while only his mistakes were highlighted. The emotional toll was significant. His partner's inability to see or honor his contributions created a rift that could not easily be repaired. For Sagittarius, the pain lies not in the effort itself but in the perception that care, commitment, and intention are invisible or undervalued. Together, thing number 3 and thing number 4 highlight the importance of awareness, reciprocity, and respect in relationships. Sagittarius, your generosity and openness are gifts, but they are not without limits. Those who cannot honor boundaries or recognize effort undermine the balance of connection, creating unresolved tension that lingers. Even when actions are well-intentioned, the lack of acknowledgement or disregard for autonomy signals a misalignment between expectations and reality. Consider also Maya, a Sagittarius woman who navigated a friendship where her emotional support was taken for granted repeatedly. Despite her consistent care and presence, her friend often failed to recognize her contributions, prioritizing their own needs while dismissing her boundaries. Over time, Maya's energy felt depleted, and she realized that no matter how much she offered, the lack of recognition and respect created an imbalance that could not be healed simply by apologies. This example demonstrates how thing number 3 and thing number 4, disrespecting boundaries and ignoring efforts, intersect to create emotional wounds that are difficult to forgive. Astrologically, these dynamics are amplified during periods when Jupiter interacts with Saturn, emphasizing the tension between expansion and structure, generosity and limitation. Sagittarius is naturally expansive, often exceeding the expectations of others in terms of support and care. When these efforts are ignored or boundaries violated, the imbalance is magnified, leaving a lasting impression that can be perceived as unforgivable. Sagittarius, the lesson here is profound. To protect your energy and maintain alignment with your authentic self, it is crucial to establish and communicate boundaries clearly, while also discerning when your efforts are recognized and reciprocated. By honoring these principles, you cultivate relationships that are balanced, respectful, and nurturing, while also identifying dynamics that may not serve your growth or well-being. Those who cannot forgive violations of boundaries or disregard for effort are revealing the limits of their own understanding and capacity to appreciate the depth of your heart and commitment. Ultimately, thing number 3 and thing number 4 remind Sagittarius that authenticity, generosity, and freedom are sacred. Disrespecting boundaries or ignoring effort disrupts trust and alignment, creating wounds that are difficult to heal. By maintaining awareness, communicating your limits, and observing reciprocity, you protect your energy and ensure that your connections are built on mutual respect, understanding, and care. Sagittarius, embracing these truths strengthens your sense of self, empowers your decisions, and sets a standard for the relationships you deserve. Ones that honor your spirit fully and reflect the integrity, adventure, and authenticity that define you. Thing number 5. Betraying the depth of their vulnerability. For Sagittarius, the fifth truth, the one that truly freezes hearts and leaves an indelible mark, is the betrayal of someone's deepest vulnerability. This is not about minor misunderstandings, petty quarrels, or momentary lapses. It is about the sacred trust they placed in you when they revealed their fears, insecurities, and most intimate truths. When you dismiss, betray, or exploit that vulnerability, the impact is profound and often irreparable. This is the truth that will leave even the most resilient individuals frozen, because it touches the core of human connection, the sacred space of emotional exposure. Sagittarius, your natural honesty and forthrightness are powerful, but they also carry responsibility. When someone shares their deepest fears, confides in their most tender experiences, or entrusts you with their heart, they are granting you access to a realm that is sacred. Violating this trust, whether through gossip, disregard, manipulation, or betrayal, strikes at the very foundation of intimacy. Those affected may never forgive because the wound is not just about the act itself. It is about the rupture of safety, the shattering of a trust that is not easily rebuilt. Consider Laura, a Sagittarius woman whose partner confided his deepest insecurities regarding past trauma and emotional struggles. Seeking support and understanding, he revealed truths he had shared with no one else. Laura, caught up in a moment of frustration and misunderstanding, reacted dismissively, minimizing his feelings and failing to honor the gravity of his vulnerability. The immediate aftermath was silence, distance, and a profound sense of betrayal. Her partner's trust had been broken at the most intimate level, leaving a scar that was difficult to erase. Sagittarius, this scenario exemplifies how even unintentional neglect or insensitivity can create wounds that linger indefinitely. Similarly, Marcus, a Sagittarius man, witnessed the fragility of this truth firsthand in a professional context. A colleague, whom he considered a close friend, confided personal struggles that were not visible to anyone else. Marcus, however, shared these details with others, intending perhaps to seek advice or lighten the burden, but the outcome was devastating. The colleague felt exposed, humiliated, and unsafe. The betrayal of their vulnerability left a deep fracture in trust, one that could not simply be mended with apologies or rational explanations. Sagittarius, the lesson is clear. The weight of betrayal at this level is profound and often unforgivable. Astrologically, Sagittarius is guided by Jupiter, a planet of truth, wisdom, and moral integrity. Jupiter amplifies the consequences of both your actions and omissions in matters of trust and vulnerability. When you mishandle someone's emotional exposure, Jupiter's influence ensures that the repercussions are felt deeply, both for the other person and in the subtle energy dynamics between you. The ripple effect is enduring because Sagittarius is naturally expansive. Your presence and influence carry weight, and any breach of trust at the core emotional level resonates powerfully. Betraying vulnerability often leaves people frozen because it confronts them with the realization that their emotional safety is fragile, and the person they believed could honor it cannot be fully trusted. For Sagittarius, this is not just a lesson in relationships. It is a reminder of the sacred responsibility that accompanies honesty, openness, and influence. When you are entrusted with someone's innermost fears or truths, the choice of how you respond is a reflection not only of your character, but also of your alignment with your own values. Consider also Sophia, a Sagittarius woman who unintentionally dismissed a friend's confessions of grief and struggle during a hectic period in her own life. Her lack of attention, though not malicious, created a sense of abandonment and emotional isolation for her friend. The trust placed in her had been compromised, leaving her friend stunned and uncertain about future vulnerability. Sagittarius, this underscores the importance of presence, empathy, and conscious engagement when others open their hearts. Vulnerability is sacred, and the consequences of betraying it resonate deeply and often permanently. Sagittarius, this fifth truth is the most profound of all. Betraying someone's vulnerability is rarely forgiven because it touches the sacred essence of trust and emotional exposure. It is an act that reverberates through relationships, affecting the ability of the other person to feel safe, seen, and valued. While you cannot control forgiveness, you can cultivate awareness, empathy, and integrity to ensure that your actions align with the respect and care that vulnerability demands. This is not a limitation on your freedom. It is an elevation of your responsibility as a conscious, compassionate, and authentic individual. Ultimately, thing number 5, betraying the depth of someone's vulnerability, serves as a stark reminder for Sagittarius of the power and influence inherent in their energy. Your honesty, forthrightness, and boldness are gifts, but they must be balanced with empathy, awareness, and respect for the emotional boundaries of others. When you honor this sacred space, you cultivate relationships of depth, trust, and mutual respect. When you fail to do so, the impact is profound, leaving scars that may never fully heal. Sagittarius, embracing this truth is both a warning and a guide. It illuminates the importance of conscious interaction, ethical integrity, and emotional responsibility. It reminds you that your freedom and authenticity are to be exercised in harmony with respect for the sacred trust others place in you. By doing so, you not only preserve the integrity of your relationships but also align yourself with the higher vibration of Jupiter, embodying wisdom, empathy, and moral clarity in every connection you cultivate. The betrayal of vulnerability is, without a doubt, the fifth and most unforgettable truth. It freezes hearts not out of malice but out of the profound impact of violated trust at the core of human intimacy. Sagittarius, your awareness of this dynamic elevates your capacity for meaningful, authentic relationships, and empowers you to act with care, empathy, and integrity, ensuring that your light continues to inspire, nurture, and connect those who resonate with your true essence. Sagittarius, understanding these 5 truths is not about inducing guilt or fear. It is about clarity, empowerment, and alignment with your authentic self. The 5 things others may never forgive: betraying your own truth, breaking their trust, disrespecting boundaries, ignoring their efforts, and betraying the depth of their vulnerability, serve as a mirror, reflecting both the impact of your actions and the sacredness of integrity in relationships. While these revelations may feel heavy, they offer you the opportunity to grow, to honor your own path, and to cultivate relationships that are rooted in respect, understanding, and alignment with your spirit. Recognizing these truths allows you to release guilt, resentment, or attempts to please those who cannot hold space for your authenticity. Sagittarius, your heart is bold, your energy expansive, and your freedom essential. By embracing these insights, you strengthen your self-awareness, enhance your capacity for meaningful connections, and navigate life with the confidence that comes from living in alignment with your values. Even when forgiveness is not given, you have the power to act with integrity, compassion, and conscious awareness, ensuring that your journey remains guided by truth and authenticity. Let this be a reminder that your light, courage, and adventurous spirit are your gifts. Like, share, and subscribe to Zodiac Wisdom to continue exploring the insights that illuminate your relationships, guide your growth, and empower your soul. Sagittarius, you are capable of deep connection, authentic love, and profound self-respect. And by honoring these truths, you step boldly into the life you are meant to lead.